Snake. Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers.
Да, мы видели заставку.
There's something I want to talk about. It concerns the running of Mother Base. Come meet with me. You came. This base belongs to you now. Make Diamond Dogs the force it deserves. Like any organization, we need good people. And we need to make good use of their talents. Miller asked me to lay that out for you. To start bringing people in, use this. It's a Fulton recovery device. When you're in the field, use it to extract any soldiers or prisoners you want back here. And we'll see if we can't persuade them to join the ranks of Diamond Dogs. Go on. Test it out on the staff here. Anyone you want. First, put them to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you?
Let's do this, boss. Let's do this, boss.
Now extract him. Out like a light. Now approach him and extract him. Good.
Extraction
complete.
arrived at Mother
You can only
Base.
Fulton recover someone if they're not resisting. No dead bodies either. They don't make great recruits. The staff member you just Hang on a minute, boss. I'm not finished.
Extraction
Member you just
failed.
extracted will be Hang on a minute, boss. I'm not finished. The staff member you just extracted will be assigned to the team best suited to his abilities. See for yourself. Open your eye
Extraction
drawer.
arrived at Mother Base.
Select staff management from the Mother Base menu.
Управление персоналом.
So that staff member was placed on the R&D team. The R&D team is in charge of developing all kinds of weapons and items that'll support you on missions. Take a look at the development list.
Select weapons items under the development heading. What's wrong? Go back to the Mother Base menu. Select weapons items under the development heading.
Оружие, предмет.
Please
Come on,
specify
that's the R&D
project.
team's development list. See the item called cardboard box? Doesn't seem much use to me, but Miller was adamant that you'd want it on the list. The last word in infiltration technology, or so he said. In any case, we don't have the manpower to develop it just yet. We need more staff on the team. Go extract a few more people. Boss, put the iDroid away for a moment. You can also Fulton extract individuals you've knocked out. Why don't you try knocking someone out with CQC next? Show them how it's done, boss. Try throwing them out. That's the best way to knock someone. Excellent, boss. Now extract it. Good.
Extraction
complete.
arrived at Mother
One
Base.
thing I should mention, a Fulton extraction
Unit
won't always
function
be
added.
successful. If the person is
Development
injured, the
project
shock
is
of it
being
could kill
added.
them. And if the weather's unfavorable, well, it could end up going missing. You can determine the chance of success by approaching the person you want to extract. You want to be sure you can get them out, best carry them to the chopper instead. Boss, now that we have more people on the R&D team, its level has gone up. They should be able to develop the cardboard box now. Open your iDroid.
Select weapons items under the development heading.
Please specify
Now select
project.
cardboard box and start development. Be aware that development requires funds.
Development has finished.
Please
You
select
can have the
a
support
drop
unit
point.
supply you with weapons and items you've developed. Think of it as your
Supplies
own
requested.
personal delivery service.
Supply drop complete.
And there it is. Not sure what it's good for, but Miller said you know what to do. Try it out. One last thing. The staff members you extracted were all placed on the R&D team, but that was Miller's decision. If you think they belong somewhere else, you're free to move them around. Well, that about does it.
Position
You won't
info
make
has
any
been
GMP or
updated.
find recruits hanging around here. Board the chopper when you're ready for a mission. Open your iDroid and select a landing zone to tell it where to pick you up. Or if you're still in the mood for knocking guys on their asses, you can stay around here a while. Give the men some practice.
Marker
Just
placed.
come pay me a visit.
Thanks for that, boss.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Extraction
Boss,
arrived
let's
at
practice
Mother
your
Base.
CQC. Begin by grabbing it.
Что он дойдет?
Marker placed. Marker placed.
An honor, boss.
Marker removed. Marker removed.
Вертолет.
Please select a landing zone. Landing zone
This is
confirmed.
B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Development project has been added. Mission list updated.
Boss, I know you haven't been back long, but I prepared a list of missions for you. Open your iDroid.
You were hospitalized in Dekelia, a British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory.
He said I was in a British military hospital, but the doctor had a Greek accent.
They hire locally. Easier to trust them. Dekelia is also home to Greek Cypriots, after all.
What about the Turks? They haven't returned to the south.
Not yet. The Cyprus dispute is still a long way from resolved. The country is just as split as it was in '74. Turkish Cypriots in the north, Greek Cypriots in the south. Between them, the Green Line, the UN established.
And Dekelia sits right on top of it.
It does. Part of the buffer zone between the two groups. Another reason it was the perfect place to hide you. Easy to spot any outsiders snooping around.
So how do things stand?
Now, last year, the Turks declared that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is an independent state. Though it's only Turkey that recognizes it. In the past, the Greeks and Turks lived side by side in the same villages. There are reasons to fight. Those came from the outside. Greece, Turkey, Britain, America, they all have their own stake in pitting the two sides against each other. But once you spark something like this,
долго еще летит, блин.
you were hospitalized in Dekelia, a British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory that falls outside of Cypriot jurisdiction. You got moved from Cuba's Little America right into Cyprus's Little Britain.
Why Dekelia?
The UK and the US remain close allies. The last place Cypher would think to look for you is inside their own system. That's what kept you safe in British military hospital for 9 years. The safest place from a whale is inside its own belly. You were a regular Geppetto.
Well, it wasn't Pinocchio who led me out to safety. So who was that guy?
Cypher went so far as to attack British territory, burning their own ally. That's how badly they wanted you dead.
He said I was in a British military hospital. But the doctor had a Greek accent.
They hire locally. Easier to trust them. Tekeli is also home to Greek Cypriots, after all.
What about the Turks? They haven't returned to the south.
Not yet. The Cyprus dispute is still a long way from resolved. The country is just as split as it was in '74. Turkish Cypriots in the north, Greek Cypriots in the south. Between them, the Green Line, the UN established.
And Deucalion sits right on top of it.
It does. Part of the buffer zone between the two groups. Another reason it was the perfect place to hide you. Easy to spot any outsiders snooping around.
So how do things stand?
Now, last year, the Turks declared that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is an independent state, though it's only Turkey that recognizes it. Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago. You do remember Miller. You'd formed a private army with him, an army with no allegiance to a nation.
I remember, but...
I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've gone easy on you up until now, but this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men, basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work. He was looking to start a business where you would fight on behalf of others around the world, those who needed military force. But the reality was, at that time, you didn't have enough gear to equip your own men. You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was out for you. East, West, First World, Third. It was only... Here, Snake, try this on.
A prosthetic arm.
Yeah, Miller was calling it the arm.
While the Soviets have indicated they are not participating in the Los Angeles Olympics, primarily because the United States has made no attempt to guarantee the safety of the Soviet Union's athletes, the United States is increasingly demonstrating the belief that the issue has nothing to do with it. The United States has made no attempt to guarantee the safety of the Soviet Union's athletes. The United States is increasingly demonstrating the belief that the issue has nothing to do with its preparations, and in fact this is retaliation for the Western nations' boycott of the previous Moscow Olympics. That concludes today's news.
That's quite some news.
The Soviet Union not attending the LA Olympics? Snake, I wanted to ask you about the man on fire. What do you remember from the hospital? Anything we can use?
Well, he took off the moment the sprinklers started up.
Sprinklers? The fire system?
And when he got sprayed with water from the burst pipe, it slowed him down.
When we escaped on horseback, he wouldn't cross the river either.
And then it started to rain. And he disappeared.
Water against fire. Is it that simple? I mean, it makes sense. It's just hard to believe it would work on a guy like that.
Ocelot. I hear they started calling you Shalashaska in Afghanistan. What's that about?
You know the term Sharashka? It's slang for a suspicious, hastily thrown together organization. The word became associated with a type of forced labor facility in the Soviet Gulag system. OKB scientists and engineers who'd been convicted of crimes were sent to a Sharashka for forced R&D. The Sharashkas were supervised by Lavrenti Beria of the NKVD, the secret police, under the official name 4th Special Department.
Forced research? That's not very different from what we do here.
Diamond Dogs is different. Everyone here believes in you. Regardless of where they came from or why they're here, they revere you. And they're fighting because it was their choice.
And if it wasn't, they'd leave?
Who knows? That's our reality here, whether it's real or not. If there's another truth, I don't want to know it. All that matters is that's the concept that's taken shape in their heads. The traces of a group ideology, our superstructure, to put it in Marxist terms.
All right. Go on.
Right. So anyway, at some point the enemy started calling me Sharashka. This was after the war in Afghanistan broke out. While I was keeping an eye on you in that hospital, I was also heading up interrogations here. The men I broke gave up their comrades and families, everything they wanted to protect them most. No real cause for it. I just let myself get caught up in the old Russian pride. And suddenly I received the honor of becoming...
So SALT 2 still hasn't gone into effect.
That treaty was... I first met you... Zero created Cypher, an information network to tap into every corner of the globe. Woven together, Cypher's artery... Christmas Eve, 1979. The Soviet Union rolled into Afghanistan. Muslims had revolted against the Soviet... The Soviet troops on the ground want to go home, but at least they have homes to go back to. The Afghans have lost theirs. The Soviets destroy the kishlaks, villages, wherever they can. They burn down homes and fields, fill in wells, turn pastures into minefields. It's created a mass of refugees who fled to Pakistan. If the Mujahideen are fish swimming around the villages, the Soviets will go so far as to dry out their ocean. But this has had a big price. There's bitter resentment among the Afghans, and they're taking out their anger on the soldiers on the front lines. Among the Mujahideen are the Pashtun people. They're fiercely devoted to their code of Badal, or revenge. Soviets they've captured have had their hands, feet, and noses cut off before being left to die at the side of the road, just to show their comrades with... Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago. You do remember Miller. You formed a private army with him, an army with no allegiance to a nation.
I remember, but...
I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy. Caused by the coma. It's still all a mess. All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've gone easy on you up until now, but this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974.
I've taken the job offers Diamond Dogs has received and made a list of those I want you to consider. Which ones you accept is your call.
Miller was among
The objectives of the missions I've added are prisoner rescue, facility sabotage, and high-value target elimination. Probably all a walk in the park for you, but they should help you get back on your feet. I put the mission details on a cassette tape. Refer to it if you decide to accept the mission. We'll receive GMP for completing missions, and extracting soldiers and prisoners will boost our ranks. Building up Mother Base is the first step to achieving our goal. If that means wet work, so be it. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty. I hope you're rested up, because we're not stopping. Not until the pain is gone. The future of Diamond Dogs is in your hands. We're counting on you, boss.
Deploying.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago Calais and eliminate the target.
Здорово, Сань.
Please select supplies requested. Supply drop complete.
Где они сброшенные? Давление базы отсюда зачем?
You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Блять, где там управление? Что-то я не понял. Бинокль, где, блять? А вот он. F.
Marker placed. Marker removed. Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed.
Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets.
Marker placed. Marker placed.
Ебать их там навалом, бля.
Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed.
That's a shed where they hang their crops to dry. It's a sturdy building. Should be able to take your weight. Boss, intelligence work is all about observation and gathering information. Start by using your binoculars to get a grasp of your surroundings.
Marker placed. Marker placed.
That's the sturdiest building in the area. It'd be perfect for the target to hole up in. Plenty of grapevines there. They're not bearing fruit, but they'll still provide good cover.
Those materials have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base. You gonna extract him?
Потерял визуальный контакт. Перемещаюсь к последней известной позиции. Прием! Это КП, понял. Будьте начеку и найдите противника. Конец связи.
Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker removed. Marker placed.
Понял. Не позволяйте им застать вас врасплох. Будьте начеку. Конец связи.
like the enemy's lost sight of you. They're gonna try to hunt you down.
Соблюдайте осторожность. Прием.
Искать сектор! Реализую! Вас понял! Поймал!
Всем боевым группам, это КП. Мы вышли из фазы с противником. Все боевые единицы, приготовиться к бою.
Snake, talk to me! Snake! Snake!
Да.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago Calais and eliminate the target. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed.
That's a military four-wheel drive.
Marker placed.
Только так мы раздавим душманов. За родину!
Is that him? Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets.
Не делай этого!
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Так, вот сейчас надо прям туда идти, блять, в это гнездо, нахуй. Что я обойду? Смотрим, что с этой стороны придумать. Чё коробку на базе не взял? Ёбаный его.
Extract him.
Прям сюда светит, сука.
So as sandstorms come in, sandstorms effectively make you blind and deaf, but that goes for the enemy too. Use the situation to your advantage.
Extraction failed. Extraction failed.
Бля, сейчас спалюсь.
Extraction failed.
КП, это зоне 10. Какого-то бедолагу унесло на воздушном шаре. Что указание? Они идут! Всем боевым группам, это КП! Боевые посты! Всем подразделениям, по боевым постам!
Да, зря туда залез.
Transmit a request from your iDroid and I'll send supplies right away. Looks like the enemy's lost sight of you. They're gonna try to hunt you down. Be careful.
Всем боевым группам! Все подразделения! На боевые позиции! Удаляют! Все подразделения! На боевые позиции!
Да, блядь.
Snake, talk to me! Snake! Snake!